What is going on, everybody? Back at it again with another YouTube video. And before I get into today's topic, make sure you guys leave a like, comment down below what your thoughts and opinions are after this video is over, and make sure to leave a subscribe. We are at 421 subscribers. Let's try to hit 425 by the end of today. We are continuing the grind to 500 subscribers. We have been growing every single day since quarantine has started, and I can't thank you guys enough for everything you have done for me and to make this channel what it is today. We are going to keep grinding out videos every single day. Make sure to turn on post notifications so you get every single update of when I do post, because it is every day, 10 minutes of daily Philadelphia sports content. Now, to get into today's topic, Brett Brown was on the Midday Show with Anthony Gargano on 97.5 The Fanatic. Probably the biggest, radio show in, Philadelphia sports. Mike Missinelli, Anthony Gargano, the early morning show. 97.5 is basically what I listen to. I also listen to 97.3 and 94 WIP. But that's besides the point. Brett Brown was on the show with Ant, and they were basically talking about what if the season continues. Joel, Ben, obviously all the things that we as Sixers fans want to know. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are the star players. We're obviously going to ask questions about the star players. We asked them, well, what happens if the season returns? I will give my thoughts and opinions after every statement that I read. I will save the big one for the end. I will go with the few points that I've written down first and then talk about it. So basically, they were asking questions to Brett for a good 20 minutes. And here we go. If play resumes, Brett plans to play Joel Embiid 38 minutes per game in the playoffs. Now, we saw what happened last year. When he is on the floor, Joel Embiid is probably one of the most unguardable, he is one of the most unguardable players on the floor at all times. I would say he's top two big men in the league. Anthony Davis and him, you can go one or the other. It really doesn't matter. And obviously when he is on the floor, he makes a huge impact. 38 minutes a game, though, that is not it's a lot of minutes, obviously, but he is a starter. It is more minutes than he was getting in the regular season because we took some minutes away from Embiid this season to get him ready for the playoffs. That's why we have Al Horford, Richardson, Tobias, and Ben. Our starting five, and he does say it in this, is built for the playoffs. And I understand that. But Joel does need to be on the floor at all times, especially in a playoff game. You have, 48 minutes a game in the playoffs? You rest him for 10 minutes. You saw what happened last season. If you do not, and this is why I'm more comfortable with if play resumes, which I don't think it will, but if it does resume, this is why I think it will be better than last season. Last year, in Game 7, Greg Monroe came in the game for 2 minutes and was a -9 on the plus-minus chart. That's awful. And it obviously cost us the game. You don't play him for 2 minutes, the Raptors don't score 9 points, probably. They don't score that many points that quickly. So to have Embiid out there last year was a lot more important than I think if he was out there this year because of Al Horford's defensive presence. You also have Richardson. You have, O'Quinn if you really needed him. You have Burks, Robinson, Matisse, Ben. You have solid or great defenders on the perimeter and Al Horford manning the middle. That is why I think last year it was a lot more important to play Embiid 42 minutes, 44 minutes a game than it is this season when you have and you gave money, a lot of money, to a guy like Al Horford because of the reason why we gave money to Al Horford was because he can back up Joel. You take out Embiid, now you have Horford. And then you just rotate until the final minutes of the game, the start of the third quarter, and the beginning of the game. That is when you play those two together. Honestly. And we saw at the end of the season, before it got canceled, before it got postponed, that they were finally getting it together, it looked like. Against the Pistons, Al had 20 and Joel had 32, 30. That's 50 points. And we ended up winning the game. Now Christian Wood dropped 32, 34. That's a career high for him. But nobody else did anything. And we won the game. So, that's just something you would have to see and look at if the season did continue. My second point. Brett said that Joel should be at the lowest and best playing weight of his career when play resumes. Now, we saw Embiid when he was drafted. He was a lot skinnier than he is now. Embiid then put on weight after, basically as he was injured, he was putting on a lot of weight because he couldn't do anything. Then he lost it. Then he put it back on. Then he put a little bit more on. Then he lost it before this season. If he loses more, I don't know his exact weight. It has to be up there. It's probably like 270, 260, something like that. I don't know his exact weight because the NBA hasn't been around in a while. So I don't know what it is exactly. But if you play, weight goes a lot in health. And if you are a healthy, fit player, it's going to show, and you're going to have a better chance of you're going to have a longer career if you are a healthy player. Like Shaq. Shaq was a different breed. He was like, 325? He was a monster. But Embiid, I do think he needed to lose a little bit more weight than he already did in the beginning of the year. But, again, we are going to have to wait and see when play resumes. Then Anthony Gargano kind of switched up the topics and then went to Ben Simmons. And they were talking about, Ben's injury. How bad actually was it? And Brett said Ben was in so much pain in that Milwaukee game that when he went to the locker room, he physically started throwing up. He was in that much pain. And you could tell something was wrong with him. He didn't look like himself out there. And, it does suck, that he was injured, and it obviously took a toll on the team. It's Ben Simmons. He led the league in steals. You're missing that. He's the floor general of this team. He controls everything. He is a LeBron James type of player when it comes to passing and ball movement. I'm not saying he's LeBron James, but he has the vision of a Magic, of a LeBron type of player. He is that good when he has the ball in his hands. Now, if you shoot, it will be better. But that's a topic that we can talk about for 30 minutes. And I'm not talking about that because this video could literally be 45 minutes long. And I regress. Then we go into the playoffs. Brown admitted playing in front of fans is not ideal, but he does not think it will kill the competition level. This is where I disagree heavily. You saw the Sixers on the road. We were awful. Then you saw the Sixers at home. We were the best team in the league at home. We were one of the worst on the road. If there are no fans at all, I cannot see that going the Sixers' way. I can't see the Sixers, benefiting from that. I can't see that happening. The Sixers and even the Flyers need fans in order to play high-intensity basketball and hockey, I think anyways. They are professional athletes. They will go out and they will win games whether there's fans or not. But you saw what happens when there were Philadelphia fans in those stands selling out Flyers and Sixers home games. We were almost unbeatable at home. Between the two teams, we lost, 5 games in 60? 60 and 5 or something like that? Like, it's an unreal number how many games we won between the two teams in the Wells Fargo Center this season. And then he does say, yet again, that the roster is built for the playoffs, which I agree with. Now, here is the big statement that I waited until now to speak of. Brett on the season returning. We need to hunt for a championship. I feel the carpet has been pulled from under this team. Only 19 times out of 65 games we have had our starters because of injuries. I don't feel like the season is complete. We have more to give. Yeah, I understand that. I do agree with him with that. We are on the hunt for a championship, but so is every other contending team. The Bucks, the Celtics, the Raptors, the Heat, the Pacers, and I think I'm missing one. And us. And then the Lakers, the Clippers, the Rockets, the Nuggets. You know what I'm saying. All the contending teams. 6 and up for both the conferences, I feel like, are contending for the same thing that have a legit shot to win it. Everybody going into the season is playing for the same thing. And it's not really until midway through the season, maybe a little bit before, that you know, okay, this team is actually a legit title contender. You can't say that for the Cavs now. You can't say that for the Warriors this season. Because, no, they're just not that good. They're not. But in the beginning of the year, everybody is going for a championship. That is why you pay these players millions of dollars. You're not paying Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert $100+ million, both $100+ million contracts, if they don't think that they are contending for a championship. Everybody has that player that they are going to pay millions to. More millions than the rest. We have 4 of those. We have 4 players on this team making over $100 million for a contract. Horford, Embiid, Tobias, and Ben are all making while their contracts are going on. At the end of it all, they will make over $100 million plus with their contracts as of right now. So we are all playing for the same thing. And yes, it is unfair that only 19 times of 65 games we had Ben, Richardson, Tobias, Horford, and Embiid. And when we did play with those guys, we were almost unbeatable. You saw what happened Christmas Day. We destroyed Milwaukee, the best team in the league, record-wise. We beat them by like 20. We destroyed them. We beat the Lakers. We beat the Clippers without Embiid for the Lakers game. When we are healthy, when we are healthy and at home, we are unbeatable. When we are healthy on the road, we have a fighting chance. We have a chance against the Clippers, who we only lost to by like 5-6 points because Shake Milton had like 30. But we didn't have Embiid. We didn't have Richardson. But, again, the Sixers are a very good team. I don't agree with everything that Brett Brown does. I don't think he's the coach that is going to win us a championship. But the Sixers team in general is not bad. That starting 5, I still believe, could be the best. If not top 5 at the least. At the very minimum, we are a top 5 starting 5 in the NBA. Honestly, I truly believe that. Now that is it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I love talking Sixers basketball. I would love to get a lot more Sixer subscribers because I love talking it. This is what I do every day. This is what I'm best at. I love talking Sixers basketball. I'm good at the others, Eagles football, Phillies baseball, and Flyers hockey, but I have to learn more than I do with basketball. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's try to hit 425 subscribers by the end of today. And that is it for this video. I am out. Peace.